Oh, everybody!
Oh!
All right, it's another Rick and Morty here. Another episode of commentary. I'm Justin Roiland.
I'm Ryan Ridley.
Dan Harmon.
And we got ourselves a little Dominic Polcino. Did I say your last name right?
It's Polcino.
Just
knew it.
say anybody's last name.
But I own it.
He'd like the little taken off as soon as possible.
Dominic directed this episode.
After years of suffering in the shadow of his father, Big Dom Polcino, who ruled the animation industry.
We have a lot to talk about this episode. This has a storied history.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Dom. I want to keep exploring that. Hey, it's Big Dom.
I'm busy at work on the newest Ralph Bakshi flick.
Let me tell you, this guy, you write it, he can draw it. Oh, Maron!
Are you of Italian descent, Dominic?
A little bit.
All right, okay.
On my father's side.
Are we trying to lip sync with this? Or
Yeah.
An accident.
Is it Schraub?
Yeah, I think
Is that first guy Schraub?
Yeah, I think it is Schraub, actually. Schraub's fucking great in this episode.
Yeah, he was supposed to play the character that I ended up playing.
The lighthouse keeper.
There's so much to get to with this episode. This
nuts.
came together in a way no other episode has come together. I'll start off by saying it was supposed to originally be the second part of what became the finale.
Yeah, we were going to try to burn through both
That was
part 1 and 2. in
never
season 2.
supposed to be a cliffhanger. It was supposed to be part 1, and then we wrap it up in episode 10, I think, part 2. And we tried to break the story, and we went crazy.
Yeah.
We
really
melted down.
actually lost our minds. Yeah, and I guess the real hero of the star of this episode is me as a writer.
Yes.
Because we lost our minds so much that we started I almost in a sarcastic fit, like, because Ridley, like, God love him, genius, can't do the show without him. Like, a third of all the decisions that story-wise make the show great, but he really, every time I would talk about doing a Purge episode, he heard Weird Al Yankovic, like a Purge parody. I don't give a shit about the Purge movies. I'm just saying, like, like, they made 2 of them because it's a resonant sci-fi trope, and it's as old as the short stories that the Star Trek ripped off, and then blah blah blah. That idea of a culture where you have a purge. And so I was always saying, like, the easiest episode we could just write it, and then only as we lost our minds, we're just yelling at each other, like
and also
just
winnowing down the staff slowly because people were leaving, because contracts
were wrapping.
were off, and, it was just down to me and Dan finally.
yeah, there was nobody left in the building.
Yeah.
And then basically, I think I ran out to Justin and I said, I don't know, I was like, can't we just kick the second part to next season and then just slip in an evergreen episode and push?
Well, it was great minds thinking alike, because I saw the writing on the wall. I popped in. I was sort of like, I had kind of, again, like, receded from the writer's room because I didn't know how to contribute, and I was like, I popped in and hung out, and you guys were talking about, like, an Indiana Jones thing, and I was like, okay, this is so different.
The
second part, and I was like, this
finale.
is so different. So I went to Mandel and I'm like, look, what if I'm gonna pitch you a crazy idea? What if
I just lock the door and let those guys go nuts, turn up the heat?
Yeah. But no, I was like, what if we just moved the part 1 to the last episode in the season on a cliffhanger, and we just write an evergreen episode
and buy us a year and a half to figure out how we're going to do part 2.
Well, not a year and a half.
Well,
but buy us
whatever,
some time. Yeah.
In the meantime, what can we do? And then
you had come up with that idea independently of me as well. You guys were talking about that and sort of. Yeah,
I'm putting my producer hat on, but then we came in and told Dan, like, hey, guess what? We're gonna fuck this part 2. We're gonna do something random, and then he's like, what about that Purge episode? And then I think he spit, meaning he just opened up a computer without talking. We didn't brainstorm. He just wrote the first act, basically.
Yeah, in like 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes,
or
all of the stuff you're seeing right now.
By the way, it's a 2-act format. That means I wrote the first half.
Yeah, the first half of the episode
in less time than it takes for you to watch it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was even quicker. I was so shocked
because when I type pause, you have to pause.
He emailed it to us. We sat there and read it and laughed out loud throughout, and then we talked for the rest of the night about the second act and talked about the lighthouse keeper.
Well, Dan
Harmon was doing riffing the lighthouse keeper.
The bit that he was
but in a very
screenwriter.
it was in a very well, we can't really do any of this.
Well, 'cause
but
we'll
let's
often-
continue laughing
We'll
our asses off.
we'll often riff stuff that's like absurd off the rails. And then, of course, that's just a riff. We have to now get serious about what the story's going to be. And
Yeah.
Jess and I were like, no, that's the thing. They go to a lighthouse, and the guy wrote a screenplay.
I was so into that, and I was visualizing how it could work, and yeah, and then we just fucking. I was like,
So
we
who is
have to
this
do
doing the
this.
voice of Arthricia?
Oh, that's Chelsea Kane. So
Justin's old fish hooks.
yeah, Chelsea was on Fish
Co-star.
Hooks with me, so it was always a will they, won't they between Oscar and, well, can we talk about that on this? Whatever. Who cares? It is another show that I was on with her, and I thought it'd be really funny to have her at some point do a guest starring voice on this show.
Lil Dom Jr., do you want to talk about the design of the cat people?
Yeah, Lil Dom.
Yeah, I was trying to go for like they can't be too weird looking because Morty likes them.
Oh yeah, I can't be too alien.
Kind of
'cause
like
he's-
and it's a little animalistic, but she still has to be cute.
Yeah.
taps into that furry.
I like that every
thing.
time we do like we do all these like alien civilizations, and whereas usually in Star Trek modern Star Trek they'll put some prosthetics on their forehead. In old Star Trek they would just be humans with like togas on, but in our show it's like there's always some fundamental, like they have cat ears or they have little antenna. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the I guess I don't know. I mean some people would argue not good to do, but animation it's like yeah, why not like have fun with it. But I mean ultimately this started out as like a few builds and then quickly spiraled as they always do into an exorbitant amount of builds.
Well, I find this voice is like incredibly magnetic. Like I because I thought it was Jackie Buscarino.
Oh no.
Who did a great job as Annie.
Yeah.
So like Morty's girlfriends, Morty's little trysts.
They're great.
Like Jackie is one in the Anatomy Park, and then I guess I'm learning this is a different person who I would love to bring back. Like,
Yeah,
I
she's
love these
she
voices.
is really good. Like she's incredible, and she was really fun to direct. And it was so great for me to direct her screaming obscenities in the last scene. I was like, I got Chelsea Kane, a Disney star, screaming filthy things.
we have to bring Jackie back too.
Yeah, no, Jackie's awesome.
She told us she does other voices.
I just like her regular.
She doesn't
voice.
really have to do real other voices. I mean, she could come back as Annie.
Yeah.
You know, who we now know has a puffy vagina.
So what else? I mean, basically, we had to scramble to get this episode done before Dan left for Community.
Yeah.
And I think at some point.
Well, no, we were writing Act 2 after.
You finished this while I was at my other job.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still.
And by the way, one of the things I did was Ridley and I did is we got into the pair notes of that night when you spit the first act and just transcribed a lot of your riffing for this lighthouse keeper guy.
Oh, is he not? You did not actually write the lighthouse stuff, Dan? Like that was
No, he didn't
us
type.
basically.
No. He said He's like, you guys write Act 2. Remember, you fucking spit out Act 1 in like
God, it's
less
like-
than 20 minutes,
it's like
and then you're like, all right, I did my job. You guys write the second
It's
act.
like Spielberg taking Kubrick's notes from AI. I mean,
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
But it was fucking. There was so much there. I was like, it was great.
Well, we definitely beat the whole thing out because I remember trying to figure out. Yeah, like why are they there? All this stuff. That's why we came up with this stuff because we were like, we need the B story to be complicated.
Yeah.
So Dom, you want to talk about this scene because this is like, you know, like as a writer, you go, okay, this scene's gonna be badass because of every intricate every line of dialogue has like 3 actions associated with it, and I have no idea what animators go through when they're dealing with this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of business there. He's doing a lot of crazy things. I think Erica Hayes might have storyboarded that. What the hard part to this show too is keeping track of the designs and making sure they don't come back to life. Like we had to keep making them look different.
What does that mean? Come back to life?
Well,
like
I
when
mean,
you would
if-
kill somebody.
What we have to, if you kill somebody in Act 1 and then he comes back in Act 2 by accident because
Oh, I see. It's like
We're
having
drawing-
an extra in a movie get shot and then suddenly
Yeah.
they're running. Yeah.
we had masks. Some of them wear masks, sometimes they don't. And
The masks were there to sort of help cut down on the build account, but
Yeah.
it didn't matter really.
Here's
at the end of the day.
something I just learned. Don't you also take builds from different episodes and repurpose them. Like, oh, this guy was blue in the autoerotic assimilation episode, but now we just changed the color, and it's like basically taking toys and swapping their body parts around.
I don't like doing that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was like everyone was like, we can't design an entire new cast.
See, that's where like I am starting to learn actually the reality of making animation. That it's not just you snap your fingers and you create 1,000 new things. There is a limited, finite resource sometimes.
Yeah.
Every episode of Rick and Morty has a high body count, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was okay. We got less pushback on the build count in season 2 because Bardell had figured out the system where they had an independent animation studio doing all of the rigging for all the builds. So it was sort of part of the pipeline. They would just get all the builds pre-rigged, so it wasn't really any skin off their teeth. Is that the quote? I don't know. If that's what they say. Is that what people say?
Is this guy based on anything physically, Tom? Is he reminds me of Roger Ebert.
Yeah, he's not probably based on anything real, but I like that he's got glasses and his little vest.
Originally, it was Harmon doing the voice. I remember because I just wanted that
capture exactly what he riffed.
that magic of that night.
It's just like the idea that when a character says, "I'll share my tale with you," and it just turns out their tale is a bad screenplay.
Yeah, you think it's going to be this deep alien mythology. This legend.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, wait a minute. I even though like Morty's like the moment where Morty's right here where he realizes he's like, what?
Yeah, he's a 14-year-old kid, but he knows that a story that starts with the description "hot" but doesn't know it. He knows he's in for a long ride.
He's just like bummed out.
Yeah.
He's bummed out immediately.
But you guys teed up that he's eating that candy bar.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with that Purging bit. Like, that was amazing. I loved that so much.
I don't know who I have the worst memory in the world. Who was sort of the architect of that Purging
It
stuff?
feels Ridley-ish to me.
Is that good or bad? Because you gave me a really nice compliment, and I think it teed up you saying, "But he was wrong about us doing Purge."
No, it's
That hole was put in the roof, and it'll be, every time you see the roof, it's patched later.
yeah.
It's a compliment in that case because it's like it's Harold Ramis-y, the Purging thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into detail.
I also just love that scene at the end where Rick's like, yeah, remember in the first act when you ate the candy bar? It's like, what the fuck?
I like that it's an undercut and then it undercuts.
Undercut. This was it's my biggest voice acting role in the whole series so far, and I got it, in the way that a lot of people get it. I just did the scratch.
Yeah,
I just did it the scratch. It was never meant to be the final voice.
This is what happened. Ridley tempted, and at such a breakneck speed that we had sort of built the episode around it with the runtime. Sort of everything was there. And then we're like, all right, Harmon, you came in to record, and then when I cut you in, it was like an extra minute and a half.
I think what it was that you had Ridley like rush through it.
Yeah.
And then I heard Ridley's temp and went, well, have Ridley do it because he can do it faster than I can, but let's lift some of this
Yes, we
stuff.
did lift a ton, actually, yeah.
So that he can take more time and do it right.
I got pretty self-conscious and didn't think I was right for the part, and Justin was like, no, I'm telling you, it's great, and he'd show people, and then Brian Quinn at the Comic-Con panel mentioned it and stuff and wanted me to do it.
Oh,
and
boy,
I never even
listen to
watched
you,
it.
patting yourself
No,
on the
no,
back
I'm not
over
patting
there.
myself on the back. I'm saying I was like, I didn't think I did a good job, and I was embarrassed, and I didn't watch it until like months later.
Then I won the award
and I was
for
like,
best
it is
voice,
pretty funny. It works.
And that's when I realized I've got the goods.
I've got the goods.
I love
pretty
this.
great.
I love this moment.
Oh, that lighting is cool. Look at the way it's turning.
Dude, they fucking Bardell. That's a 3D
Holy
model.
crap.
That they like fucking that. These shots came last because they were like futzing with the lights and shit.
Did Morty ever kill anybody before this in the series?
I think.
I
Well, I
don't
mean, in the
think
fart
so.
episode, but
This is the opposite of the fart episode, though.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, he like. Did he ever like do it that deliberately? I don't think so.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
He's pretty morally like he's usually like he's just losing his shit in this one.
Well, we always talked about what
There's
the
a thing
effect
in
would
season
be.
3 that's like so fucked up that it's insane. Like,
Well, don't say anything.
well, I don't know if it'll make the final process. So it's just like walking Morty through situations where he has to be the cause of, because it all starts in the pilot with Morty having to ignore the fact that he inhaled something that made him cough up a life form that is part him that he has to watch live and die. So it starts with just don't think about it, what you're witnessing, and then it's like he slowly gets indoctrinated, like Aaron Paul's character in Breaking Bad. Like he becomes, he's being indoctrinated into.
And that's why I always thought this episode represents, if there is any depth to this episode beyond just the fun of the trope and stuff, is that this is Morty snapping a little bit after like all the crap he's been dealing with
That's
psychologically.
what's funny is that it won't have anything to do with saving a little girl. It won't have it. In the end, like the first time Morty draws
that's so
first
awesome.
blood is because the guy's a hack.
Yeah.
He couldn't take. He just couldn't take it.
Well, and why don't they bring these suits on every adventure?
I mean, it's
This is
like
just something Rick has hanging around.
I mean, it's like why don't they have the portal gun every? I mean,
Well, Rick probably. I mean, why don't I wear my Apple Watch? It's like it makes my wrists sweat.
yeah.
Rick's probably got a really good reason, and Morty would be like, "Oh, I want to wear this all the time," and look why he can't.
Yeah. God, that'd be a mess.
By the way, I want to ask you guys. So that you didn't know how to do the two-parter, the second part.
Yeah.
So you did this. How's next season looking?
It's coming together.
Well,
It's coming together.
Do you want to do it? Maybe the next. Do this.
Yeah, we could push it off. We'll do a
Push it off a
non-linear.
little?
We're gonna do a Temple of Doom. Season 3 takes place before.
Yeah, timeline-wise,
season 1.
Yeah. No,
I think that was Dom saying, "Can you sign me up for 302 and not 301?"
Yeah.
Are you 301?
No, I'm like 3.
Oh, okay. So you're not. It's not.
We should have that story resolved.
Oh, this
by
is a
303.
funny story. That shot right there.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to do an upside down shot, so I told the crew, "Can you guys work in an upside down shot? Because it'd be really cool." And then Roy did it, and I was like, "Great, it works."
And then it got cut.
No, it was that
Oh, it's-
shot.
oh.
That's who's telling the story.
Just because shows need variety.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that pan, whatever you call that shot when they're surrounded by the purge people and it kind of pans around them.
Oh,
that
you
was
gotta have
awesome.
one of those.
That was very cinematic. So
Yeah.
cool.
I also, again, this is all of this looks so good just because of the night colors, like the blues and the.
Now, this scene, Dan, this is, I think, the one scene you had no clue when you left what we were going to do.
Yeah,
How do
I
you feel
wasn't
about
sure,
this
and
scene?
I watched it and I was like, well, this is pretty severe. But I like that Morty. I like that. I had some feedback on it. It was just like, can we have Rick resist, or I can't remember. Arthricia has. Because I wrote this line.
Yeah,
that
you
he's
wrote
saying.
this. Yeah, exactly. You wrote this.
That's me
monologue.
apologizing for what's about to happen.
Yes.
As I'm saying, like socioeconomically, the rich in a hierarchical society are wearing a suit of Iron Man armor, and then they take full advantage of it. And they do horrible things to millions and millions of people. So what you're about to see, like these people all deserve it.
But he's also like, he's like, nah, I'm good. And then finally he's like, fuck, all right.
And then
fuck
he's
it.
like, yeah, this is fun. I mean, it is, because it's fun to kill. And I like the Gandalf relationship between him and this girl who's grown up in a harder society than Morty's had to, and that Morty, because of his privilege, had to get knocked out and just is not involved.
It's a funny
because
image.
it's very Joseph Campbell to me, because like he's not. He doesn't have the tools.
And he's the way his body's
Yeah.
dangling.
By
like,
the way,
just limp.
I think it's another thing. Didn't Atkinson temp in this song?
Oh,
It
yeah.
feels good.
Yes,
And we're like, all
yes,
right, let's
yes.
just build a scene around
I
a moment around
I was
it.
so well. We fucking leaned into it hard.
Yeah,
we were
it's playing from like Rick's, like a speaker in Rick's suit is what I imagine.
Yeah.
like he's got
he's
little,
got little speakers.
Bose thing. Yeah.
In the end, the people that did bad things suffer the most. And also, you undercut it by saying, by the way, poor people aren't geniuses. They deserve everything they get. You need to do this
Following
next scene.
Yeah.
The only thing I regret, I think, is this scene between Morty and Arthricia, because it feels a little bit like a 4chan-y kind of like, yeah, women, right? They can't stop dumping you.
But you wrote the scene, right?
No, I did.
Oh,
But
okay.
I thought it was funny that she's like, there's something got lost in it where it's like, it just feels kind of like.
Repeating stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like her character isn't written up to like she. It almost feels like she's conscious of the fact that she's hurting him, as opposed to like she's just like conditioned to like apologize, and so she keeps dumping him over and over again. And he's like, I got it. I'm good at this part.
This stuff is fucking great. Like these voices are like it's Schraub and his name Bill Holmes, right?
Yeah, who we brought in now a couple
He's
times.
so
He played the
good.
pastor, and he's just like he's not a celebrity. He's not even like a.
Well, he's done a few voices in cartoons.
But I mean, he's not like a Maurice LaMarche or a Tom Kenny. But we just
Sure.
really liked his
he's
take
so
on the pastor.
Good. It's like that's not a real job. Like the way he says it, and it's just so fucking funny, dude.
And these are
great.
poor people signing up for what they've just been through for the last 10,000 years because poor people are fucking dumb. And they're so dumb they're gonna create rich people.
Oh my god. Whoa.
There's too much aggression here.
That's Schraub, right?
No, this is Harmon right here.
Oh,
Schraub was the weird looking dude with the wall eyes.
Out of our system. I can't help but feel ashamed about what I did back
I
there.
remember Schraub auditioned, I think, for the housekeeper and was bummed out. He just felt so jerked around. He's like, I don't need this. I'm a director. I directed the Lego movie. Maybe put on tape and then rejected.
From my friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we don't know his voice well enough by now to just
I
give him
know,
a part.
exactly. Yeah,
Well,
it's not,
Schraub was
Schraub
something
is
in
not
Anatomy
offer
Park.
only.
We recast him as
no,
Summer's
no.
boyfriend, Ethan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was? Oh my God, you're right. He did all. And then we just want. Ultimately, it was like we just wanted a younger. We wanted like an actual kid.
Yeah, no, he got that message.
But he's still
man.
Alexander in that.
Yeah, he's
Anatomy
still
Park
the
moment.
guy in the costume.
We
yeah.
should just bring Schraub in, like.
every
Yeah.
episode and then recast.
All right, Dominic. When you're gonna name your kid Dominic the Third, Tiny Dom.
Super small Dom.
Yeah, I'm in a long line of Dominic.
Micro Dom.
Micro Tom.
I'd always hoped for you that your son would animate things I couldn't animate.
Oh,
What
there's
is
a
this,
tag.
Taddy Mason? Oh boy, this is
Taddy fucking
and this is
Mason.
pure Justin.
That all like that's one like that was me just like Harmon will rewrite all this shit. Like in the episode when they're on the phone, I was like yeah, it would have been rewritten.
I mean, it's the most.
And-
this
and
is not
rightfully
another
so.
realities cable, by the way. This is a real service you can get.
Yeah.
I thought this was great. I
Yeah.
like this.
All right, folks, keep listening to these while you work.
All right, we're ramping
Get that
up.
work done.
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.